Black folks aren't born expecting segregation. Nobody presents you with the handbook and says, here's how you're supposed to act as a second-class citizen. Instead, the humiliating expectations and traditions slowly creep over you, taking a teaspoon of your self-esteem each day. Following the landmark 1954 Supreme Court decision, Brown versus Board of Education, 9 teenagers were chosen to integrate Little Rock Central High School. The daily nightmare of Philly's 9 is hard to imagine, but very true. We follow one of those 9, Mel Polito, and Warriors Don't Cry by Mel Polito Beals. By the time I was 4 years old, I was asking questions neither my grandmother nor mother cared to answer. Why do white people write the word colored on all the ugly drinking fountains and on the dingy restrooms and on the back of buses? When will it be our turn to be in charge? And my grandmother India would say, in God's time, be patient, tell God all about it. When I was 5, my family had gathered at the 4th of July picnic. I snuck away to go to a merry-go-round. I had my eye on one horse in particular. I'd saved up months to give 5 pennies to ride him. I reached up to give the man my money, but he snapped and pounded his fist and said, You don't belong here. You need to leave. I was so terrified, I didn't even pick up my precious pennies. When I was in the 9th grade, my teacher had asked if anyone wanted to attend school with white people. I raised my hand. I thought about all the times I'd gone past Central wanting to see the inside. I read in the newspaper a woman by the name of Rosa Parks had refused to give up her seat for a white man on a bus. I felt a surge of pride when I heard about this. Pride that it gave my people a chance to come together to force a change. It gave me hope that maybe Little Rock could change. There were tears in my mother's eyes on the first day of school. She looked at me and said, make this day the best you can. At 8 a.m. we turned the corner toward Central High. I saw them, 50 uniformed soldiers. They surrounded us in a protective cocoon. I felt proud and sad at the same time. Proud that I lived in a country that would go this far for a Little Rock boy like me, but sad they go through such great lengths. We began moving forward. The eerie silence forever etched in my memory. All I could hear was my own heartbeat and the sounds of the boots clicking on the stone. Step by step we climbed forward, where none of my people had walked as students before. My heart skipped a beat as the door closed behind me. The teacher had beckoned me to my seat near the door. You're just gonna sit there and let that nigger come in here like this? A tall boy got up and yelled, but no one did anything. And that teacher said nothing. The days dragged on like this. It was like this every single day. In a few weeks, I found myself being pushed backwards, 3 or 4 football players hovering around me, someone's forearm choking me, and him saying, we're gonna make your life hell. Do you understand? You're all gonna go running out of here screaming. And then they let me go. I turned around to see if anyone was following me. I looked up and said, thank you, God. Thank you for saving me one last time. On some days, I found myself thinking about my safety. By the time I graduated, I had been threatened with the lynch mob's rope, a lighted stick of dynamite, acid thrown in my face, but somehow I survived. I would salute the flag every morning. There was a picture that was directly in front of me. I will never forget that as long as I lived. It was a brown pasture with a white sheep. As the boys behind me called me names and the girls to my side sneered, I looked straight ahead because I know that if I salute the flag like a good American, that all of these problems will be worked out, eventually. Years later, I was asked by a reporter what it was like to attend Central. And I told the reporter, I said, I'd wake up early every morning, I'd polish my shoes, and I'd go off to war. It was like being a soldier on a battlefield. Black folks aren't born expecting segregation. Instead, the humiliating expectations and traditions slowly creep over you, taking a teaspoon of your self-esteem each day. But I learned very early that warriors don't cry.